All right. I don't know. It's telling me something's going wrong with the chat, so I don't know. But let's get started here. Let's refresh this. Let's see what we got. I haven't refreshed it in a while. All right. So let's see. 6-3. I'm not gonna that's projected 6-3. I think 1-1, 2-1. So I've had. Oh no, this game's gonna go into overtime. I have the under, but they would have to score a lot of points in over. If you watched my stream on Saturday, I had 4 under bets lose because they went to overtime, and looks like that is going to continue. Although, like I said, they have to score 30 points in overtime to make it happen. What channel is that game on, by the way? Big Ten or Fox Sports? But yeah, projected 6-3. I'm not going to complain about that right now. A lot's happened over the past couple days since my last Saturday stream, where sorry, something's wrong with the chat. Yeah, that Indiana game's going to overtime. I just turned it on, and Northwestern's final possession was a train wreck. They turned the ball over. All right. So hopefully that game can still go under. Anyway, yeah, I don't know what's wrong with the chat. Okay. Yeah, Basketball on Paper and the KemPod blog are the two go-tos, in my opinion. But yeah, a lot has happened since Saturday. So the reason I called this live stream the second half betting live stream instead of the live betting live stream is because I really focus only on second halves to build a set of decision trees and machine learning methods to try to pick second half bet. So I have one already live right now. It's Old Dominion in Charlotte under 146.5. That game is at 121 with 4 minutes to go. That should go under unless, like I said, the overtime curse continues to plague me. But yeah, so I've worked really hard on, coming up with like stepwise regression methods and all that to really try to drill down and come up with better ways to make plays. And so what I've found, at least on Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday, even though Monday and Tuesday were not winning days in terms of my actual bets, is that it seems like it's done, at least with the short 3-day sample size, it's kind of lowered the floor. I don't know if it'll raise the ceiling, but it's definitely lowered the floor. Money lines, by the way, are not included in this new process yet. I was working on that today, and I had a final product. It's not included in this today. I'm going to try to fit it in tomorrow because, coming up with a money line method is a little bit different than spreads and totals because you have differing unit sizes that you can win on money lines, whereas ASTS and total, it's going to be the same. 1 for win and minus 1.1 for losses. But money lines, you have to do an extra step of units 1. But I did come up with a money line decision tree machine learning method today that uses the same process that ATS and totals have already been using the past few days. So, and if I had run it today, though, it only picked one play, and that was Rhode Island and St. Louis. Rhode Island plus 330 on the money line. I didn't end up playing it just because it was such a last, I probably finished it maybe an hour ago. And that game doesn't start till 6, but, I could put money down on Rhode Island if I wanted to, but I'm not going to yet. I just feel like, I want to sit on it a little bit. But I not to say I won't place any live bets on the stream, but where was I going with that train of thought? But really, the decision tree I have set up is really geared towards I filtered only second half bets in there. I just don't have that big of a database for non-second halves when it comes to live betting numbers. So let's see. My database is really this right here. I've compiled a database of second halves, right? And so non-second halves, which would just be removing this number right here, it's only 468, and that includes spreads and totals. That's just not enough. So if I need to grow this database, I need to add more. Another problem is that the percent remaining column, it's the same on second halves, right? It doesn't change, but it's entering in how much time is left, that could very well influence the outcome of a live bet, right? it could. What I've noticed is that at least my anecdotal evidence, just from this is based on my memory completely and not actual numbers, but it seems like the earlier I was able to get live bets in, the better it turned out. If I put them in later, it didn't turn out so well. So maybe just like filter for only first half and not place any, I don't know. But if I was only going to, first half live bets only, right? So it would be everything greater than 0.532. I mean, that's only 338, and that counts totals, that counts spreads. So if I was like, for overs, that's only 89. So that's not enough. It's not enough. So I'll have to, I might as well do it tonight on the stream, just add some live betting just to build that database. But ultimately, I think that second halves should be good enough to train that database because it's based off the same concept. But yeah, like I said, it seems like the earlier I was able to get those live bets in, the better they would do. Yeah, Dane Collins, good question. I was hoping someone pointed that out. So I realized that the picks I had made that I uploaded this morning at about 8:30, the decision tree I was using the wrong. I can show you exactly where the problem was at. It was using the second half database for full game, right? So where is it? So yeah, I set the linear logistic regression and random forest right here. This right here, key tree ATS. I'll show you what it is. This is like for every game, but then there's, I want to say, I forgot what the name of the second half database is, but I actually had the second half database right here that was picking games for the whole game. So when I realized a mistake, I went back and changed it, which is why the picks changed around, I don't know, like maybe 12 or 1 o'clock this afternoon when I realized that mistake when I was auditing, when I was working on the money line approach, I realized that I had made that mistake. And so that's where the discrepancy comes into play. But yeah, that shouldn't happen going forward. That was just a one-time thing today. Yeah, so what I ended up having to do is like some of the bets that were on the first iteration, I had already blocked them in on my betting apps. So what I actually did is I went in and made bets on the opposite side to kind of cancel them out. I didn't like make the exact amount on the opposite side, but like I just determined which one would be more likely to win, and then I put like 90% on the other side. So that way, it gives myself a chance to win something just in case the original side I put in still won. But I think UConn lost, so that would have been one I lost on. So. This Old Dominion game is going to go over, isn't it? They've really picked up the pace here in the last 3 minutes or so. I'm already worried about my Indiana game going over. Yeah, they're at 119 right now. And Indiana just shot a 3, which went in. So like I said, that game's going to either go to a second overtime or go over. I can feel it. Yeah, it's not a normal occurrence. I just, when I was building my money line decision tree system, I realized, oh crap, I have second half in there, not full game. Because yeah, I have 2 sets of data. One for second half bets, live bets, second half bets. I'm trying to find where it is because I have like, it's kind of weird how I do it. Okay, so live log. What do I call? I'm looking for it. Yeah, I have a lot of code in here. I apologize. It's not ATS log, is it? Yeah, okay, so yeah, here it is. ATS log second half. So I actually had that as my training data set for my full game model. But I changed that. Oh, man, Northwestern just made like the most ridiculous layup. I mean, I don't care. I don't care that Northwestern made that layup. I don't. As long as this game doesn't go into second overtime, it should stay under. Do I have a tutorial for the button to split the spread and totals into separate columns when copying and pasting odds into Excel? I don't have a tutorial for that. That is I don't know if I don't know if I would do a tutorial for that. Yeah. So what I do is I have a script. Let me pull up my odds file that I use to copy and paste odds. See, I have a button that I click right here that'll, money lines is easy. It's the spread and total part that's hard because usually the spread is for the favorite and the total's not. You would have to use, what I do is I think my script checks to see if what the number is, and if it's high, then it considers it to be a total, and then the other number is a spread. But no, I don't have a tutorial on that. Machine learning is just a fancy name for different types of ways to do classifications. Logistic regression is considered machine learning. Random forest and classification trees are considered machine learning. Cluster analysis. Machine learning is pretty much where you feed a training data set into a model to train the model on how to predict. So like, here's a training. If you look at so I'll run this macro to show you what I'm talking about. Not macro, this script in R. What's a good one to run? So I do like a Monte Carlo simulation. So yeah, pre-key. So what this does is that it takes the key tree ATS data frame. I'll show you what it looks like. So this is like every game over the past 2 weeks spreads in the pre-game metrics, and then what the result was. This column is just a factor version of this, by the way. So what it does is that I feed that, and so I take 90% of this data right here, which is 1,208 rows, so that times 0.9. So I take about 1,088 rows of this data, and then I take the remaining 10% and make that a test data. And so I create two data frames, one with the trained data and one with the test data. And then I run a logistic regression right here with the trained data and a random forest with the trained data. And then I predict the test data frame with these two regressions. That way, you do it like that to make sure that you're, how do I put it? What's a good way to put it? To make sure your training data set is not noise. You're trying to filter out the noise. So what I do is I do that like 400 times, which is what this data table is right here. I'm not going to run it because I already ran it. So what this data table is right here is I ran like a Monte Carlo. I ran this concept 400 times, to smooth out the sampling of the training data set. And I calculated, the wins, which is this column, the losses, and then what this number is right here is that, it runs the regression and it comes out with like probability odds. So what this number right here represents, which was the best performing one, is what the wins and loss and win percentage was on average over the course of the 400 Monte Carlo simulations, what the win and loss was when both the random forest and the logistic regression probability odds were greater than 53%. And it turns out, on average, it went about 10.3 and 7.8 for a win percentage of about 57%. So that's what I use to make my plays for both second halves and pregame. So that's kind of the concept of how machine learning works. Machine learning is pretty much feeding a training data set to train a model on how to pick. That's pretty much all it is. And logistic regression and random forest are 2 ways to get that done. All right, let's go back over here. Man, this game's going to go over, isn't it? This Indiana game. All right, so Northwestern, what I need them to do is to bleed the clock here. So if they run the clock all the way down to 0, there's going to be about 15 seconds left. Is that enough time to score 9 points in the remaining part of overtime? Maybe. The one thing I can't afford is a second overtime. I think as long as that doesn't happen, I should be good. But I'm telling you, I've not had a lot of luck. I want to say on all the live streams I've done so far this year, by the way, there's 4 second half. A lot of second half games to put up. But I want to say that I have not won a game because of overtime. Oh, wait, no, I did. But it wasn't a total. It was Texas State this past Saturday. They covered the spread because of overtime. But as far as totals are concerned, I've had at least 8 losses. There's a 3-pointer by Northwestern airballed. So there's going to be 13.4 seconds for Indiana to tie the game or win. But, yeah, so I haven't had an over win because of overtime, but I've had at least 8 unders lose because of overtime. So just bad luck. All right, so time to put in some second halves. Houston, South Florida. That was one of the games I had to cancel out earlier. 70.5. East Tennessee State and Citadel. And remember, I have some bets on some of these games already. VMI and Western Carolina. That was another game I had to cancel out earlier because of the mistake. Wake Forest and Boston College. I have Wake Forest, I think, in that game. 73.5. Fordham and George Mason. 3.5 and 68. Chattanooga and Wofford. Wofford's not playing Furman, so that's why they're not winning. Virginia and Georgia Tech. I already have a bet on Georgia Tech there. But, it's a live stream. I might YOLO, guys. You remember what YOLO means? It's where I make a play on a game I already have a play on and kind of double down. 71.5. And the Northern Iowa and Drake. 2.5 and 76.5. That's a really high total for Northern Iowa. Okay, so I just put in all those games. So let's click this button. And then I come in here and I click live odds and 1. Just 1. Okay. Just Houston, South Florida under. That's surprising. I'm gonna put that bet in Houston, South Florida under. But I just want to make sure that's right. Because I want to say overs are never going to be an option today because I just can't find a training data set that will produce a predicative model for overs right now. But spreads, I'm surprised there was no spread. So what we're looking for is, I can type it. So 55% and higher for spreads. Yeah, they're not sinking, so that's why. Here's, that was close. And then 53% and higher for totals, unders, which only Northern Houston and South Florida met because that's 59 and that's 57. So that's interesting. Oh, did Indiana just make a 3 while I was not paying attention? Oh, it was a 2. His foot was on the line. We're going to go into a second overtime, aren't we? Oh, man, his foot was on the line. Oh, this sucks, man. I'm telling you. I just have the worst luck with unders these days. His foot was on the line, but they're reviewing it, but his foot was definitely on the line. I don't use an API to get my odds. I copy and paste them. I don't know which API would be available to get odds from. So Northwestern is going to basically have 1.6 seconds to save this bet for me. I just have the worst luck these days with under. Yeah. Like I had 4 on Saturday and then the first one today. Double overtime. I mean, I had it nailed. They had 108 points. They were 30 points under at the end of regulation. I mean, my model had it nailed. Okay, if half court shot, nope. Okay, that's a loss. Sucks, man. I'm not up. I'm down a lot of units on the season. I'm not up. I would say factoring in because what the website has is just the current way I'm doing things, but I would say factoring in before January 8th, I would say I'm probably down like 20, 25 units on the year. Odds API, I've never heard of it. Is it? I'm open to listening to APIs though. Man, double over. What are the odds? Double overtime. All right. Well. Oh well. All right, Rutgers and Iowa. I have a bet on that game. Under, right? Yeah, under. Yeah, 20 points after 8 minutes isn't bad. All right, but overall, yeah, I mean that's just bad luck with what happened with Indiana. I don't know. It's grading it as a win, but it's not a win. All right, it's gonna be a loss. Just once that changes to second overtime and it adds more possessions, it will count as a win. All right. Any more half times? I think I entered them all in. Did I enter in Wichita State and UCF? No, I didn't. So I'm going to have to do that one. Like I said, you got to learn from failure, Kevin. It's the most important thing. Learn from your failure. Wichita State, UCF. I need to put that second half in. I'm going to turn this Indiana game off because my side has lost. And I'm going to turn on Virginia and Georgia Tech. Hopefully Georgia Tech can hang on. Who did I have last night? I had Vanderbilt in a similar situation last night. They were up 6 points at halftime, and I had them plus 5.5, and they lost by 6. All right, there's Wichita State. They're up. Okay, I'm going to put them in 1 plus 1 second half, 74. It's being awfully picky. I wonder if I should lower. Yeah, nothing. You know, I'm going to run that Monte Carlo simulation I was talking about and see what would happen if I lower. Just because, I don't want to be picky for the stream. Like, if there's still some value to be had for a number lower than 55%, I'm going to do it. So I'm going to run that Monte Carlo. I just have so many commands. I forgot, I think this is it right here. Let me try it. Let's do 300 and 0.524 and then 0.57 and 0.025. I don't know. So what it does is it runs these Monte Carlo simulations of that train and test data set, 300 times. Because it's going to, when it samples that data set and picks, 85% or 90%, however, I think it's 85% for the live bets. Let me double check that. Yeah, it's 85% for the live bets, but, when it's sampling 85% of a data set, you want to do a Monte Carlo for that to, smooth out the randomness. Because it's going to be a little bit different every time. It samples that data. So that's why I do the Monte Carlo. But I'll show you how I settled at that 55% number. But I'm going to do it a little bit different this time. I have the increments smaller. Joseph Titus, I don't want to name him by name, but the initials are VI. Nope, not me. Nope. What's the site? I'm actually interested. Even if it is $20 a month, I'd pay that. Appreciate it, Matthew Stansberry. The reason I made that video yesterday is because I get a lot of emails of people who email me, and they're like, "Man." And by the way, if you email me and I don't respond, it's because it went to my spam folder. It's not because I didn't see it. Oh wow. See, yeah, I don't have to be that picky, but it looks like 54.9% is the best one. And then it kind of goes down from there. But, 53.65% is still above 60%. Let's do 53 point. Let's just change it to 53 point. Let's change to 53.4. And see if that makes it any difference. Nope, it didn't. So, oh well. Yeah, a lot of these games are no longer at halftime. Houston, South Florida, Chattanooga, and Wofford still are, though. Yeah, I don't. That's why I don't like saying the site by name, because it's a tout website, but it has the best, honestly, the best copy and paste odds table that I know of. Like, that should show you just how much looking around I did for something that you could copy and paste easily. So I'm going to see if, had I dropped that number to 53 point, was it 53.4? Yeah, if I dropped it to 53.4, if that would have made any difference on second half selections. Nope, it would not have. All right, good to know. The ZBO equation. I don't even know what that is. See, this Georgia Tech game is playing out just like the Vanderbilt game last night. When I was a part of Five Dimes, when I would use the Five Dimes book, I used their live odds service. That's how I was able to get so many bet types in my baseball model last summer. There's no way I'd be able to do that without it. Let's see here. So I have Georgia Tech. I want to say I have them by more than +4. Maybe I do have them at +4. Let me see if they're in this, if I can see my bet slip. That's the thing. I have 3 different books, so I pick whichever one I can get the best number at. Yeah, I don't know what the ZBO equation is either. So I need Wichita UCF just to slow down a tad. This game's already a loser. And Northern Iowa Drake. I need that one to slow down a lot. Okay. Okay, I don't have Georgia Tech on that book. Let me see if I have them in this book. I just want to make sure I have them at 4. I thought I had them at 6, but I might be wrong. Maybe I'm thinking of probably Vanderbilt last night. They're still working that out. Oh, Old Dominion and Charlotte went to overtime too. That's twice. That's 2 underbets I have lost today already because of overtime. You've got to be kidding me. Oh, man. Yeah, I have Georgia Tech +4. A 4 factors model? I mean, I can show you 4 factors right here. What do you think these 4 columns represent? These 4 columns right here on my website represent the 4 factors. I think that free throw percentage of free throw attempts per percentage of possessions is a better metric than free throw rate, though. Yeah. Yep. Effective field goal percentage, offensive rebounding percentage, turnover percentage, and whatever method you want to use, free throw attempt likelihood are your 4 factors. You could do a stepwise regression model, though. Let me try something real quick. I'm going to try this real quick. Hold on. So if I did like a stepwise linear regression model based on the 4 factors like that right there, and a backward one. So it's doing a stepwise regression model right now to determine which of the 4 factors matter. Okay, so right now in college basketball, at least according to my data, OE, DE, defensive effective field goal percentage, defensive turnover percentage, OE for both teams and DE for both teams, offensive rebounding percentage for the home team, and the tempo for the home team dictate predictability. Yeah. Interesting concept, right? So I wonder what the p-values are of that. The area under curve is right here. Let's try to see if I can find out the p-values. Hold on. I need to assign that to a variable. I don't have a Twitter anymore. So here's your p-values right here. It actually kept this one in even though it doesn't have that good of a p-value. So pretty much as far as like a linear regression for margin is concerned, the away team's offensive and defensive efficiency is their defensive effective field goal percentage and defensive turnover percentage. And then the home team's efficiency is tempo, offensive rebounding percentage, defensive rebounding percentage, free throw attempt percentage, and then opponent's defensive free throw attempt percentage is your way to go. I didn't believe in the censorship that they're doing. So I don't think I have any social media outside of this YouTube now. All right, so the under overtime curse is continued tonight, unfortunately. Let's see how the total of this game's going. I really need the Drake game to slow down. Does Northern Iowa not play at a slow pace anymore? Here they are. Oh yeah, they've sped things up. I'm guessing it's not working out for them. Look at their record compared to last year, though. I know that was a major complaint that the fan base in Cedar Falls had with Northern Iowa's coach, is that they played too slow. But maybe there's a reason for that. Look at how they're doing this year when they speed things up. Not very good. I was about to say, it's pretty fast pace. Where is Drake? Drake, I think they play at a fast pace. They're average, 69.2. I think that is the average. That's what I try to tell basketball fans, is that everyone thinks that the solution to being a good basketball team is to play fast, right? As long as we play fast, we're going to be good. No. Playing fast, you have to first of all have the players for it. You have to have the players, and just because you play fast doesn't mean anything. You could be sloppy. Like, playing faster means you have a higher likelihood of turning the ball over, being sloppy, and also when you play fast, you're not going to have as much energy to play defense, right? So that's the reason why a lot of these teams that play fast prefer to go for steals instead of just set a half-court defense and defend, because they don't have the energy. So it's a lot more energy efficient to go for steals when you play fast on offense as a method of playing defense. But yeah, as a TCU basketball fan, all the TCU fans think that, we need to play fast, like we did when Billy Tubbs was the coach 20 years ago. But no, it's not the fix-all solution. Virginia won the national title 2 years ago by playing the slowest pace in the country. So take that into mind. And the team they played, Texas Tech, also played pretty slow pace. So what I've learned since I made the switch to decision tree picking of games is that spreads have actually really, like I said, the floor for spread bets has been pretty low. You guys don't see this part on my website, but this was all green yesterday. But I think that the picks themselves were even. 3-3, 6-6, and then 5-1. So at least over the 3 days, I haven't had a losing spread day yet since switching to, in terms of wins and losses, since switching to the decision tree method. But yeah, this was freaking people out. I was getting emails and stuff about this when I made a blog post about it, but people didn't see it. They're like, "Oh, is there an error? All your edges are negative." And I'm like, "No, that's the benefit of using machine learning over the key approach I had been using, is that it can actually utilize negatives, as its a way of making plays." Well, that's why I like backwards stepwise regression, because I feel like that's a good way to avoid overfitting. But I do believe that was a problem of I believe overfitting is a trap that a lot of people can fall into very easily. And so that's what I spent a lot of time on this morning before I started working on the money line thing, was making sure my decision trees were not overfit. But my models are boosted, if that's what you mean. So for those of you who don't know, boosting is when you use an output of one model as an input in another model. It's also, some people also call it stacking. But like I said, that's what this is. Like, all these right here are model outputs, and then I input those outputs into the decision trees to make plays with. So it's a stacked approach. Yeah, such a bummer that I've already lost. Like, the odds of that happening are very low, losing under bets because of overtime. And it's happened to me 6 times in the past 3 days. So, yeah. I could really use this Northern Iowa game slowing down. Which it kind of is, but I also need Wichita State to slow down as well. Those are probably going to come down to the wire. All right, are there any second halves to put in? No, but some of these will be. Let me look at some of the live lines. Although a lot of them were probably going to be in the second half, which I said I'm not going to do. Stop freezing on me. Like, the issue with the Superbook app is that it freezes on you a lot. But it as far as connection errors are concerned, it's not a problem. But that's the thing. The other apps don't really freeze on you, but they have connection errors. And then Westgate's app freezes on you, but doesn't really have connection errors. All right, so what are some games that I could flip? Keeping an eye on this one. Keeping an eye on. Wow, that was a lot of first half points. Yeah, that game's probably going to go over. Keeping an eye on this one. Southern Illinois, it's a little early. I don't think I live streamed for baseball last year just because I didn't have the equipment for it yet, but I do plan on doing it for the upcoming baseball season. I don't know when I'll begin though. Like I said, once college basketball is over, I'm going to start, but I'm not going to do my basketball or baseball model completely from scratch, but I am going to reimagine it. I'll probably keep the Monte Carlo in place, but I'll restructure the data and everything else. All right. So forget what I said about connection errors with the Westgate app. I'm trying to get into to see what the live lines are. So there might be a chance that, for baseball, I might not begin until May. One thing I've really learned, though, is just how important preseason ratings are. And for baseball, you can't really do it at the team level. You got to do it at the player level. And which I did last year. My baseball model last year did have preseason ratings, but I didn't put that much effort into it because I thought I was like, okay, it doesn't need to be that robust. And I still don't think it needs to be that robust, but I probably didn't make it robust enough. That was last year was a real challenge though with the 50-game season. It was really tough. But what you need batters to get enough plate appearances. You need pitchers to face enough batters. But the problem is that there weren't enough games to build up a good sample size. So you got to have a good preseason ratings to regress to until the sample size is built up, which I didn't have. All right, live games. We got Georgia, Tennessee, Houston, South Florida, Northern Iowa, Drake. Rutgers and Iowa just got added. Rutgers plus 11.5. So there's some. I already have a bet on that game, the under, I think. What does this say? Rutgers. I wonder if Iowa would be. I'm thinking about playing Iowa. Hold on a second. Let me make it match. Whoops, I didn't want to click that button. Oh yeah, I copy and pasted lineups every day. I have a video, Matt. If you want to search my YouTube channel, I have a video where I went through the day-to-day process of my baseball model. Live view city sound. You need to use the league average precision. League average. I'm trying to get that Rutgers game to match. Houston, South Florida. That doesn't match either. Northern Iowa at Drake does match. No, it does not. Philip, I would say 400. Man, Houston's scoring faster than I can keep up. Okay, none of these games match the live betting score right now. Okay, now Northern Iowa Drake does. I'm going to put in a spread. And then for Houston, South Florida, does that match? Nope. Rutgers, Iowa, does that match? Nope. I already played that. How does Virginia defend without fouling? 44% through 800, take the inverse. That's a great question. See, that's where decision trees and machine learning would come into play. To see if there's a correlation or that's just noise. Like training and testing data sets. Yeah. That's something I've really learned to start doing is modeling out the noise, utilizing training and testing data sets. Rutgers, Iowa, Georgia, Tennessee, Northern Iowa, Drake. I already put that one in. Houston, South Florida. Okay, that one does match. Ooh, South Florida. No, the live line's not 47. Oh, crap. I got to delete that because I don't want that to be a part of my training data set. 1683. You can do a Monte Carlo in Excel. It's just going to be a lot slower. I haven't made any videos about machine learning yet. I wouldn't know where to find one. Really, the concept is you take your data set and you split, 80 and 90% of it off and use that as your training data set, and then use the other data set as your testing data set. And you test that test data set against your model to see how it performs. Theoretically, in conjunction with the Monte Carlo. I was talking about it earlier in the video. I guess I'd go over it again. So I ran this simulation earlier. So I have this data set. Hold on, let me show you the data set. So I have this data set right here of all these games and the inputs. So I take 90% of this data set and use it as the training data set to train my model with. And then I take 10% of it and then I make predictions using that 10% data with the 90% trained model and see how it does. So if I were to do the simulation, and which is going to take a while to do 300, but I'll come back to it. Yep. After a while, you'll learn that R isn't really different than any other programming language. All right, Northern Iowa Drake is slowing down, but is it going to slow down enough? All right, we got some another halftime up. Texas A&M Corpus Christi is +6 and 77.5. And then we got Southeast Louisiana and Sam Houston, 3.5 and 75. Oh, I can't check because the simulation's running. I'm going to stop it. I'll come back to it. Nothing. Okay. Man, what is... I thought I was going to have more second half plays tonight. Yeah, but this is the only one over 50. Yeah, when I split the data set, what I'm basically doing is making sure that the test, taking the test data set before I train the model. And then I run predictions against the test data set to see if the test data set is coming up with accurate predictions. It's kind of hard to explain, but it's a good way to back test and test, approaches. All right, what do we got? I really need this game to slow down. And this Georgia game to slow down as well. Tennessee was so bad on offense lately. I think that books are willing to take a certain amount of implied risk, but they're not gonna go out on a limb. They're not gonna be drastically different from the consensus at other books. What percent of accuracy? Well, I don't know if it's a matter of percentage of accuracy as it is, okay, does the test data results show that over enough trials that it was profitable? And if it was, then I'll go with it. That's kind of how I've been doing it the past 3 days. Hold on. I'll do this just with like 50 simulations just to show you what I'm talking about again. 50 is not going to be enough, but just to get the idea. And these commercials make me sad. The Shriners Hospital for Children commercials. So I just ran my test data. So what we're looking at here is it pretty much determined that anything above 53.4% for my spread bet decision tree is the most ideal, because it showed a win percentage of 58.2% over 50 simulations. If that, I don't know if that helps, but like the higher percentages are actually worse. Like it got as high as, it looks like, 56.9, and it only got 52.3%. I don't know what selling points are. All right, what game just flipped? Okay, this one right here, Wichita State. They're up by, what, 9 at halftime? All right, Drake and Northern Iowa is slowing down. Will it slow down enough? All right, Rutgers and Iowa State is about to go into the half. Oh, nope, not second half. That is a very big spread. Man, I thought there would be more second half plays tonight. The way the model's trained, I guess it's not. The random forest for Georgia was 63%, but only 49% on the log. They both needed to be above 53.5%. Oh, buying points is never worth it. You don't need a model to tell you that. Buying points is like the equivalent of buying insurance and blackjack. Well, yeah, selling points is also not. The opposite is true as well. Neither is worth it. All right, total. Rutgers, Iowa's at half, right? Okay, yeah. This is just lousy defense by Georgia Tech. Okay. I don't have a bet on San Diego State tonight. 4 of my 6 metrics have San Diego State, but no play. I think the predictors for spread are what are the predictors again? Because not all 6 of those are my predictors, but I change them every day. The predictors for are the Indy and ATM for spreads. Those are my predictors. And so Indy is San Jose State and ATM is San Diego State, so it's split. No, because the price you have to pay to get to sell or buy an extra point is not worth it. It's a sucker bet. Richard Washington, I don't know. All right, Northern Iowa Drake total keeps falling, but the question is, will it fall enough? All right, I need to put that second half in for Iowa. Is this app really going to freeze on me again? All right. Ooh. Iowa, second half it is. I'm telling you, there hasn't been a lot of second half bets tonight. But I'm getting in on Iowa. Even though it looks like Houston, South Florida under is going to be a loser. Yeah, it's like I said, it's the best analogy I have for buying or selling points is buying insurance and blackjack. It's the same thing. They wouldn't let you do it if it helped increase your odds. Books only offer stuff like that because it makes them more money. It lowers your break-even point, but it also lowers your odds of winning as well. So the two cancel each other out. So your odds of winning, the decrease in your odds of winning are outweighed by the increase of your break-even point or decrease of your break-even point. It's impactful, but it's the cost. It's what the book charges you to be able to sell or buy points. That's what I don't think you're factoring in that with the cost. If you decrease your odds of winning by 2.5%, but it costs 3% to get the extra. This is just a hypothetical. If you decrease your odds of winning by 3%, but you increase your break even by 2.5%, you're not coming out ahead. Yeah, this Georgia Tech game is playing out just like the Auburn Vanderbilt game did last night. Yeah, but if 0.8% of games are decided by half a point, how much does it cost? Does it cost more than 0.8% to get that half point? It probably does. Like, I can tell you right now what they charge for half a point. Like, I've seen juice go from like minus 110 to minus 123 for half a point. See, that's 3%. That's almost 3% right there. So yeah, you might increase your ROI by 1.2%, but it costs 3% to buy it, so you're not coming out ahead. That's what I do, Justin Wise. I manually refresh just so like I'm not constantly pinging the API. Otherwise, they'll probably block my IP address. But I come over to R and I hit this button right here to determine what the good live plays are. If there's nothing there, then that means there's nothing there. But you can't automate live odds. I have to, how are you going to automate a live odds stream? You have to enter those in manually. Yeah. Odds going from minus 110 to minus 103. That's a 1.6% right there. Yeah, you increase your ROI by 1.2%, but it costs 1.6% to get there. That's a minus 0.4 net. The best value on odds is overnight, but you got to have data streams. If you have a model, you got to have a data stream that can get you those overnight odds, or get you game. You got to get box scores. You got to get all the data you need to run your model the night before, and that can you got to stay up late. I'm getting the difference between a 110 line and a 103 line. Look. Whoops. It's 1.6%. That's the difference between a minus 110 and a minus 103 line. But are they the live odds with the book I use? That's the question. I just I'm just saying, what I'm trying to say is that buying points is a bad idea, and I wouldn't be giving that advice if I wasn't completely buying or selling. It doesn't matter what words you use. Buying or selling points is a bad idea, and it doesn't matter. Wake Forest blew their 14-point lead, but I would be giving you the advice not to buy or sell points if I wasn't 100% sure it's a bad idea. Books aren't dumb. They know how much extra points are going to cost. They're going to set the price of an extra point to make sure it easily clears whatever the half point, historic half point margin is going to be. All right, where's this Wake Forest game at? And Wichita State and UCF both. Okay. Yeah, like I said, it's the same thing as buying insurance on blackjack. It is literally no different. Like, why do you think the dealer asks you for insurance when there's an ace, right? It isn't because it's a good idea to buy insurance. It's not like they're trying to get you to, it's because insurance is a sucker bet that increases the house edge for blackjack tables. Buying and selling points is the same thing. They allow you to do it because it's a sucker bet. Just like teaser cards. Why do you think teaser cards pay out what they pay out? You get all these, you get these points to work with and everything. It's because it's a classic casino trick. It's like the game Blackjack Switch, right? Blackjack Switch, you can switch your hand with the dealer, right? And but they manipulate the payouts to make it not a good idea. We got some additional half times up. Marquette, Villanova, LSU, Mississippi State, Rhode Island, St. Louis. Incarnate Word, Northwestern State. Is my R frozen? Ah, crap. Okay, it's not anymore. All right, that kind of scared me for a bit. Okay, nothing there. Okay, two more. Mercer, Sanford. We got Mercer -4 and 79. And then we got Georgia and Tennessee. I already have a bet on the under in that game, which is not looking good. 3.5 and 75. Still nothing. No, the books make it so the extra half point is going to guarantee them to make them money in the long run. That's the thing. I'm not a really big reader, so I don't read a lot of books. So that's why I can't really recommend any, because I don't know I wouldn't know what to recommend. Basketball on Paper is really the only one that I've recommended. That's why I recommend that book all the time, because it's the only one I've read. I feel like the best way to learn stats is by doing and not so much reading. Okay, this game went under, thankfully. Wake Forest. Where's Wichita? What game is the Wichita game? What channel is Wichita State on? Yeah, that's what preseason ratings are, Brian. Uh, yes, I do. That is the bedrock of my preseason ratings. I mean, as far as a background is concerned, I mean, I've been doing this since I was like 17 years old, 15 years probably. Um, it's just something I gradually got better at over time. I learned how to do Visual Basic when I was in high school or middle school, and kind of used that for a while. And then I learned how to do R and Python and all that. But like I said in my model video yesterday, it's all trial and error. That's why I say it's best to do. Like, you can read all you want and watch YouTube videos all you want, but ultimately you have to actually put skin in the game and learn the hard way about various things. That's the best way to get better at this stuff. Like I said, I've been doing this for 15 years, and I still am learning new things every day. But yeah, I mean, you got to learn a programming language. That's a non-negotiable. Whether it be Visual Basic or R or Python, you got to learn some programming language, or otherwise you're not going to be able to do anything. And then from there, you need to understand concepts, building, scraping data, getting data sets, transforming data, organizing and cleaning data. Then you got to learn how to transform raw stats into advanced stats and opponent adjusted stats, and factor in everything you need to factor in. You got to have some kind of method to determine how you select your picks and all that. But every sport is different. So I always say the best sport to start with is basketball, because it's the easiest sport to get data for, and it's the simplest sport to build models for. And the concepts you can learn in basketball, like, pace adjustments and tempo-free stats and opponent adjustments and all that, translate it into other sports. The thing with Billy Walters is that he gimmicked his way to what he did. Like, the average person cannot do what he did to win money. Like, if he paid people to sit at sportsbooks around Las Vegas and place bets to move lines on purpose, the average person is not going to be able to do that. That's how he's able to get the winning percentage he got. All right. More half times coming up. Southern Illinois, Missouri State, Nicholls State, Lamar, Houston Baptist, and Abilene Christian. Where's Nicholls at? Here we go. -1 and 76.5. Man, really picky tonight. I didn't think it was going to be picky, but it is. This Houston South Florida total is literally going to come down to the wire. Just like the Drake one did, but the Drake one fortunately went under. Yep. Sportsbooks love to advertise people like Billy Walters because they make the average Joe think they have a chance. But that's why Billy Walters is the reason you can't hold up a phone in line at a sportsbook. I mean, I've hit 57% before in a season. I don't know about over 100 plays, but probably 56 or 57%. I mean, higher numbers are possible. It's just like very unrealistic. All right, Iowa's off to a good start in the second half. All right, this Stephen F. Austin game's slowing down, thankfully. Wichita State just got a dunk. We got about 2 minutes and 8 seconds left. I got it on this laptop right here. They just forced a steal. So, yeah, I got a lot of games that are going to come down to the wire. Yeah, you're. I don't know if there's. I don't know if 4 is the right number, but it's probably a very exclusive club to people who can beat Pinnacle in the long run. It depends on what the criteria are. They beating the opening line or closing line or what? You know, that's the thing. Beating the Pinnacle closing line, yeah, that might be a reasonable number. All right. I need a flip right here. I need Wichita State to make their free throws, which they're not doing. Okay. All right, I just need this Texas A&M Corpus Christi total to just keep going down. I need this total to stay going down. All right, so Wichita State is up by 3 now. 1:22 to go. Oh, are they going to break my heart? Timeout UCF. Yeah, no home court advantage really throws a wrench in there. You can try to account for the lack of home advantage, but it's difficult. It's like there's no right or wrong way to do it. It's like each way to do it has its strengths and weaknesses. Yeah, that it's been a challenge. because the thing is that in a normal season you can group teams based on home advantage, but you can't do that this year. Yeah, Pinnacle. Well, yeah, Pinnacle doesn't ban anybody. That's how they're able to sharpen their lines so much. Well, if you go to Sagarin's page, you can see that home advantage is down this year. Yeah. No, that's not. You don't want to do that. You don't want to make everything neutral. Home advantage still exists. It's just about half of what it was last. Not quite. I would say about 60% of what it was last year. Like you can see the offensive advantage efficiency is still higher for home teams than away teams right here. It still exists. It's just not. And that's like an average of all teams right here. Like the thing is, I don't classify based on like which teams allowing fans, which teams aren't, and the games that are allowing fans, how many fans are there. I'm not doing that. So this number very well could be even Stevens for teams that don't, or yeah, teams that aren't having any fans playing in their arena. No, I'm not going to return the Twitter. 3.3 points is a little high. I'd say it's probably closer to 2 points. I have a way of calculating it. Gosh, where do I have that at? I have so much code. I need more tabs, but I don't do that. I mean, if the average tempo is 70.19 times 1.014, and then 70.19 times 0.9841. Yeah, it's about 2.12 points. Yeah. But that's for the whole season. Shot quality. I think that would be. Shot quality. Whoops. Yeah, but what my approach does, Reagan, is I filter it down. Hang on. There has to be the efficiency differential has to be 0.06 or less between the two teams. That way I try to, you want to filter out the body bag games, the bye games and all that. And that way you can remove all that noise and calculate how teams that are evenly matched influence home advantage. Yeah, this seems like you would need a ton of data to calculate all this stuff. Yeah, you would need like man, I don't even want to. Do they do this for every team? I'm guessing they do. Yeah. But you would literally need somebody sitting at every single game to compile the data that makes this stuff up. There's someone to review tape. Jeez, I don't even want to think about how you would come up with that data. Probably cost an arm and a leg. All right, Wichita State is up by 2, and they have the ball with 16 seconds left. Yeah, because I found out, especially like in November and December, like pretty much the only teams that were playing home games were like teams in the Big 12 and SEC, and they're playing body bag games and blowing these teams out, and it was really skewing the home advantage. So that's why I put the filter in here to make sure it was evenly matched teams to gauge the actual home advantage instead of like the product of just mostly good teams playing at home and mostly bad teams playing on the road. All right, I just need this Wichita State. I need them to win by 2 or by 3. What flipped? What flipped? Something flipped. It was the Stephen F. Austin total. It flipped. All right, what's going to happen in the last 15 seconds of this UCF game? I might purchase data. Well, the thing is that the data that goes into a site like shot quality, like some of that stuff is very arbitrary. So you need someone to actually watch the game film to determine, what's considered a drive, a 3-pointer off a ball screen or whatever it is, right? You have to have actually someone watching, so you have to pay for that stuff. And to get that data for all 357 teams and all their games means you're going to have a lot of eyeballs watching film to break that stuff down. It just sounds like it'd be very expensive. I mean, the NCAA Hoop R package is pretty much just what I have already programmed out. Something very similar. I just coded it myself. Did the Houston 7500 lose? Oh, it looked like it was going to hit. No, it won. It won. Right? I had under 148.5, right? 147 was the score. Hold on, let me just make sure. Yeah, I had it at 140. I mean, I could check just to double check, but that should be a win. It hasn't been graded yet, but I had under 70.5 for the second half. That should mean, unless my model is glitching out on me, that should be a winner. No, second half, Houston won. Under 70.5, it won. So I don't know why you said it lost. Instead of garbage in, garbage out, I prefer the term that all models are wrong, but some are useful. That's my favorite term. Ooh, I forgot about this Wichita State game. Oh, it's So it's a 1-point game. Oh, crap. Wichita State's not going to be able to. They're going to lose this one. They just turned the ball over up 1, and now UCF has 6.8 seconds. Down, yeah. So I'm guessing there were missed free throws. No, UCF made a 3-point play to pull within 1, and then Wichita State turns the ball over on the inbounds pass. Yeah, it went off the Wichita State player's foot. They're reviewing it, but it went off his foot. So I had a chance if Wichita State could just inbound the ball and make 2 free throws. I mean, I had a chance there, but not with that turnover right there. They're still reviewing it. I don't know what there's. I mean, maybe went off the UCF player's hand, but I just don't know if there's enough evidence to overturn that. Yeah, maybe that they use like AI cameras to determine that stuff. Maybe, but still, you would need cameras in every single arena. I mean, I'm just saying, I think the best way to calculate that stuff for basketball would be a human. Did they get a foul in? Did they call a foul? Or is the game over? So UCF shot the ball, they missed it, and then Wichita State rebounded. Yeah, it's over. Wichita State won by 1. Dang it. It looked like they called a foul to me. All right. Another end of game blunder. But did they foul the player with time on the clock? They're not going to review it. All right, what else can I turn on here? All right. I need this number to keep dropping, and I need this number to keep dropping, and this number to keep dropping. Yeah, that was a tough one. That turnover, inbounds turnover, killed it. What flipped? Something flipped. Oh, the Rhode Island St. Louis total. Barely. Looks like all my spread bets are done for the night, at least in terms of pre-games. My first losing spread bet since I switched to my new approach. Man, Iowa does not play defense, and I'll show you this. I already knew that, but I'll show you what I mean. That's why they're not going to go very far in the tournament, in my opinion, because look at this. They're number 1 in offense, but they're number 123 in defense. That's not going to get it done. And it looks like they let a lot of teams shoot threes. And their defensive weakness is rebounding. They don't force turnovers. And they let teams pass the ball. So that is all the indication that they play a 2-3 zone. I'm watching right now. It looks like they play a matchup 2-3 zone. Now they're playing matchup. Yeah, they're playing a matchup zone. Yeah, wide open 3 for Rutgers. Yep, and they got the rebound, but I know Michigan's defense is in the top 3. I think they haven't played in a while though. Oh, they were number 1 for a while, but they're 8-7. Michigan is 8-7. When was the last time they played? January 22nd. I forgot to save my R data yesterday, so some games aren't showing up. Yeah, Iowa just does not play defense. All right. Wrong file. All right, so 77. Need to run my scraper real quick. Whenever I forget to save my R data, my computer decides to do automatic updates and closes R without saving. Yeah, that's why it's always a good idea to just periodically save your R data. Texas A&M, Corpus Christi, Stephen F. Austin went over. So that's a loser. Is there any hope of getting a flip anywhere else? This is my best chance at a flip right here. Houston Baptist and Abilene Christian. It's just Houston Baptist plays at such a fast pace, but that's the thing. That's why, like I said, playing fast does not mean you're going to be good. Look, where are they at? I know they're at the bottom, or they were. Maybe they've gone up a little bit. Here they are. So yeah, their tempo is 28. Okay, not as fast as they've been, but 28 is still pretty fast. But they just, a lot of high-scoring losses. They've only had one game all year with an offensive efficiency percentile of greater than 50%. So just because you play fast doesn't mean you're that good. This is a game I'm watching. This is really my best chance at a flip because I don't think it's going to be Georgia, Tennessee. right, some live games are up. Here's one. Marquette. Wrong button. Marquette 10.5 live. LSU's plus 3.5 live, but that score does not match. And then we got Rhode Island and St. Louis. Remember, my money line model was saying Rhode Island money line earlier, but I didn't do it because I feel like I wasn't ready. But I'm going to be mad if they end up winning. All right. Ooh, yeah. You know what? Let's do it. Rhode Island. Adjusted plus minus? Are you talking about box plus minus or like plus minus in terms of like how NBA does it? Houston Baptist literally plays in a high school gym. I'm not kidding. I think it's the smallest gym in Division 1. Oh, you need play by like the problem with that, Brian, in college basketball is that some play by play data feeds have like substitutions and some of them don't. At least that's what because if you go to Ken Palm's website, yeah, it's very unreliable. There's a reason that data is not tracked in college basketball because not every school tracks substitutions, which is how you factor in something like that, like who's on the floor and who's not. So I'll show you what I'm talking about. So like Ken Palm's website, he has like most frequent lineups and everything, but look, he has an unknown. There's an unknown there because not all, like I said, not all play-by-play feeds show who's on the floor and who's not. So, yep. So Iowa defensively, I've been watching them. They play a matchup zone, but they let teams shoot threes. They let teams pass the ball, and they let teams shoot threes. So I'm guessing their defensive strategy, because they're not a good defensive team, is just take away the paint and force teams to take open jump shots. I mean, yeah, they have 4 guys in the paint on defense right now, nobody on the perimeter. Yeah, going back to what you were talking about, Brian, that's just college basketball play-by-play data. You're not going to be able to get that for every game, every team. Ooh, I've had a flip. Which game flipped? Oh, wait, it flipped back. So whatever flipped was very brief. I got Marquette plus 9.5 live. Georgia plus 18.5 live. Yeah, I just don't think this Georgia total is going to drop. What I've learned is that totals, you can tell how a total is going to turn out 90% of the time based on how the first 10 minutes of a game goes. That's what I've learned. Very rarely do like things change. I don't know. I think Baylor taking time off right now is not good for them. I think Gonzaga is the best team, but we'll see. I wouldn't count out Villanova. I think Villanova is the best all-around team. Like Baylor has a really good defensive team, but I just don't trust the 2-3 zone. And I know everyone's going to say, "Oh, Syracuse won with a 2-3 zone," but yeah, Baylor doesn't have a player as good as Carmelo Anthony was that year. Like I think Gonzaga is not a good matchup for Baylor because Gonzaga could shoot the three very well. I think Gonzaga's weakness is they just haven't been tested recently. And they can have defensive issues. Gonzaga can have defensive lapses at times. Ooh, interesting. What do you guys think? Let's do it. That's the point of this live stream is to make live bets. And that's why I created this model in R to, if it tells me to play it, I'm going to play it. So I don't even know why I hesitated there. All right. I really need things to slow down in this Houston Baptist game. I mean, at least Abilene Christian to slow down. I don't think they're going to, though. I'm going to be really mad if Rhode Island wins and I didn't pull the trigger on that money line bet. Because I'll show you. Hold on. My money line model finished today. And look who's at the bottom. Rhode Island plus 330. And I was like, no, I don't. I'm gonna be so mad if they win because it seems like every time that happens, it ends up backfiring on me. It's been a while since I made a video about preseason ratings. Like I did one for football, like when I first started my channel a year and a half ago, but I want to say the concepts I talked about in that video might still apply. It's if I was doing preseason ratings, the next model I'm going to do them for will be baseball. You want to create like a 3 or 4 year baseline, but the challenge is, players who are, rookies. So what do? Do you get their minor league stats? Do you, it's how deep do you want to go when it comes to forecasting rookies? You want to create a baseline and maybe do some like I would probably do some cluster analysis to find similar players that had similar seasons at similar ages and how they did the following season. Not in terms of raw stats, but in terms of how their stats changed from the year before. That's how I would do it for baseball. For basketball, what I do is I have a 4-year program baseline, and then I calculate returning minutes and do like just a regression based on returning minutes. And then I also do cluster analysis to find similar teams based on preseason profile. I don't factor in recruiting. I don't. I found that there's not any correlation between recruiting and improvement or decline. It's a crapshoot. Yeah, I'm keeping an eye on the Villanova game as well. But I don't think it's going to get to 7.5, to be honest with you, based on how it's trending. It's at 10 right now. Man, Rutgers just made like a 30-footer. This would be a YOLO if it comes through. And nope, no YOLO. Yeah, no, recruiting is a total crapshoot. Like, I actually posted it on Twitter before I shut my Twitter down. I showed the scatter plot graph of like recruiting classes and, you know, improvement or decline from the previous year, and it was like just there was no correlation at all. Like, for every recruiting class that ends up panning out, like Duke's in 2015, you have like the Kentucky recruiting classes that don't. And this year especially, the teams that are at the top right now are all teams with a lot of 3- and 4-year players. That's why I think, you know, teams that are mostly freshmen are struggling this year because COVID kind of ruins the routines and everything. But yeah, Baylor, Gonzaga, Villanova, all those teams are experienced. Not a lot of one-and-dones and freshmen on those teams. And this total is going to come right down to the wire. The question is, will Abilene Christian take their foot off the gas at any point, which they really haven't done. Well, yeah, I was talking about that Brian Elliott. You know, I was looking at their stats, and Iowa's stats indicate a team that plays a zone, but what I see is they play more as like a matchup zone, and let teams pass the ball and shoot threes. What they do is they really pack the paint and take the paint away, but it's like it's not that good of a strategy because their defensive efficiency rating is not good. It's, you know, they're the number 1 offensive team in the country, but just watching them, the way they play defense, it's like, okay, maybe packing the paint and letting teams pass the ball with ease and shoot open threes, maybe that's not the way to go. Okay, so I'm going to watch this possession right here. They're up by 12. What are they going to do? See, it really looks like a matchup zone to me. Yeah, it's a matchup zone. They just let Rutgers shoot an open three that wasn't made. Yeah, I lived in Cedar Rapids for a couple of years, so I know a lot of Iowa fans. They're good people. I kind of adopted myself as an Iowa fan when I lived there. All right, we got... Yeah, Abilene Christian still is not taking their foot off the gas. Yep. I lived in Cedar Rapids. I actually lived in Marion or Hiawatha. Yeah, kind of like up in that area. I didn't go to Iowa City that much, but I loved it there. Man, that was a long three Rutgers just took. They're making these long threes. I guess, if you don't put any pressure out on the perimeter, you can take those long threes. I'm going to be mad if this game doesn't going over, though, with the way Rutgers is continuing to foul. Because the cat's in the cradle with the silver spoon. And that was a sad-looking free throw from Iowa right there. Oh, but they got the rebound. Yeah, that's why I liked it, because they were quiet. I like quiet places without, crowds and traffic and all that. I like peace and quiet. I have Villanova at 10.5 in my book. Really would like this Iowa live bet I made to resolve as a winner. That'll help if they could. Oh, Rutgers. Yeah, that was smart. How good of a free throw shooter is Luka Garza? I know he's the best offensive player in the country, but it's one thing I can check out real quick. He's average, which he just missed his first one. Yep, he is the 100th percentile in player value and offensive efficiency. Still Villanova at 10.5. Got Tennessee up to 14.5 now. All right, this total is literally going to come down to the wire right here. All right, Georgia, Tennessee, Georgia 14.5. Nope. Man, that was a wide. Like, they keep letting Rutgers take these wide open threes. That three might have just ruined my second half spread bet for Iowa. I have under 150. That should be fine. But it's the Iowa minus 10 for the second half that 3 Rutgers just made just pretty much put that in jeopardy. Oh, but Iowa banks in like a 35-footer at the shot clock buzzer. Oh, wow. Is anyone watching that? Oh, man. But here comes a 3 from Rutgers, and it's no good. Rebound. All right. I think I should be good with the Iowa minus 10. Yeah, they're going to play. Oh, man, that banked 3 at the shot clock buzzer for Iowa. That was like probably 30 feet out. He shot it from the beak of the Iowa Hawkeye at the center court. Oh, man, he banked that one in. Yes. Hey, I was due. After the 6 unders I've lost over the past 3 days because of overtime, I was due for something like that. I just have a different training. Matthew Stansberry, I just have a different training set of data that I use to train my machine learning model for second half bets and live bets as opposed to pregame bets. Apart from that, it uses the same input, like the same model calculations. Did you see that, Joseph Titus, how he made that shot from like the beak of the Hawkeye at the shot clock buzzer and he banked it in? I don't know if he called it, but man, like I said, I was due for something like that. And if Abilene Christian can take their foot off the gas here, which I don't know if they will. I got LSU at plus 0.5 at live, which, not looking great at the moment, but not halftime yet. Wisconsin and Nebraska just came up on the live bet roster. Okay, is there any games at halftime right now? No, but there's about to be. I have Wisconsin and Nebraska on right now, but I can turn on anything. Maybe I can find this Abilene Christian game and see if they put their. That's the thing. The game hasn't slowed down. Every time it looks like the game's going to slow down, it speeds back up. So, okay, now the total just went back under. So that's what I need, that flip right there. So like I said, if Abilene Christian can put in their reserves and stop scoring, and Houston Baptist doesn't play at their typical breakneck pace, it can go under. Southland. Okay, so it's on ESPN Plus. I'm going to turn that game on. Abilene Christian, they're not playing in their home arena for some reason. Maybe it's under renovations. I've been to Abilene Christian's arena before, and seeing what I see right now on the screen, that's not their home arena. It looks like a high school gym. Yeah, I just turned on Wisconsin, Nebraska. That's the game I have on right now, and then I have Houston Baptist on my computer. My model for Wisconsin game, well, I don't have a play on it, I can tell you that. These are solo metrics right here. Every solo metric has Nebraska at plus 11. But my model but when you combine them all, or I think the predictors for the machine learning are the Indy, this one, and the ATM, this one, which are obviously both. But sometimes it can be contrarian. I don't know if I had any complete contrarian games tonight. I'm trying to find one if I did. I know I had one last night. Okay, here's one. So like you can see all my metrics had the East Tennessee State Citadel game over, but my machine learning method was like, okay, that game's going under, which it did. That's a complete contrarian play. So, but the fact that I don't have a play on the Wisconsin-Nebraska game leads me to believe that there was no contrarian play there. But the average of the metrics had Wisconsin winning by about 13, but like that hasn't been money this year. Otherwise, I wouldn't have to resort to my machine learning contrarian methods. Nebraska's bad, but they covered for me against Michigan State the other day. Oh, Lat Mayen plays for Nebraska. I remember he used to play for TCU for like a half semester. I didn't know he transferred to Nebraska. I would not be shocked if Fred Hoiberg is coaching at Iowa State next season. I think they're going to try to make it happen. All right, where's this Abilene Christian game? All right, so it's 85-53. That's not good. Here's a 3 from Houston Baptist, no good. But Abilene Christian got the rebound. They just need to slow the game down. Abilene Christian just, which they're not doing. They're playing like breakneck transition pace with a 32-point lead. That game's not going to go under if that happens. Yeah, I'm going to give up. I have the game. You know, there could be miracles, but if that's what Abilene Christian's going to do. Yeah, they have a guy in the game right now, up 32 points, who has scored. So it looks like Abilene Christian still has their starters in, but thankfully he missed a free throw. But still, like, looks like Abilene Christian hasn't emptied their bench yet. There's a 3-pointer from Houston Baptist that was bricked. And let's see if Abilene Christian gets the rebound and still plays this fast breakneck pace, which they're not doing. Or are they? No, Houston Baptist decides to foul him with 25 seconds on the shot clock. Okay, it looks like Abilene Christian's bringing in some guys off the bench, but why would you make that foul? Maybe that's why the game isn't slowing down, because Abilene Christian's shooting so many free throws, because Houston Baptist is just fouling guys like that. Oh, they missed a free throw again, thankfully. All right. Slow the game down, please. I'm looking at the box score for this game to see what the free throw stats are. There hasn't been that many free throws. Defensive breakdown by Abilene Christian, and we are closer to the over. And Abilene Christian... Jeez, Houston Baptist just won't stop fouling. They just foul. Like, Abilene Christian has the ball, and it's like they're going so hard to get steals that they can't try to steal the ball without fouling. So Abilene Christian is back at the free throw line. It's the frustrating type of stuff when you have an under bet, that stuff right there. And he made the free throw that time. See, that's just mindless fouls. No wonder they're such a bad team. And the thing is, their foul percentage isn't that bad. But their steal percentage, you know, I'm just trying to figure out what they're doing. Like, why do they keep fouling? Like, so soon after a possession change. Yeah, this game's going to go over if that's how they're going to play defense. That was just sad on Abilene Christian's part. But Houston Baptist is still playing a full court press down 30 with a minute to go. And there's a foul. Yeah. 5 every possession I've seen since I turned this game on, Abilene Christian's got fouled and go to the free throw line because Houston Baptist is still playing a full court press. Down 30, can't defend without fouling. So frustrating. This is the life of having an under bet. There's one free throw. Another free throw and it's over. Oh, he missed that one, so there's still a chance. But based on how Abilene Christian played defense on their last possession, I think this one's as good as over. What? And there's the over. There's the over. All right, so I'm going to turn that game off. Disappointing. All right. So it looks like I'm going to finish the night at 8-7 on pre-games because I just don't. This one's as good as this one's over. That's a loss. This one's probably going to go under. This one's probably it's heading under, and this one's going to go over probably. So Yep, I don't see any more flips, so it's just live bets now. Actually, unders are hitting at a clip of, I want to say, hold on. Whoops. Yeah, unders are about 51.7% this year in college basketball. All right, any live bets I can make? All right, so Wisconsin's up by 4. And I see them. Georgia live is 12.5. Everything else is off the board. Are there any half times right now? Yes, there is. Rhode Island, St. Louis, which I already have a live bet on, which is not looking good. We've talked about Rhode Island on the stream. They're not a well-coached team, so maybe betting on them was ill. But like I said, my model said to, so I'm not going to go against it. It's just that for some reason it likes Rhode Island. Let's see if any of those second halves are going to return anything. Under the Missouri Ole Miss game. Let's do it. What was it, 152? 152, yep. I haven't seen a second half line pop up for Villanova yet. My model has it at Villanova by about 10.5. Yeah, 11 sounds about right. Unless they're up 8. If you've said they're up 8, maybe they scored before halftime. Okay, yeah, 13.5. So we'll see what the live line says, or the second half line says. So I'm waiting on that one to pop up. While I'm waiting for that, I want to see what this live Wisconsin line is. 7.5, down 3. I need it to match, which it does not. All right, we got Georgia and Old Tennessee. Nope. All right. 12. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if it's something around there. All right, Nebraska's up 6. They're scoring so fast that my API isn't able to keep up with it. There we go. Now it matches. Okay, minus 5.5. And a total 148.5. See if that returns anything. Nope. All right, let me look at the second half line. Okay, it's Villanova minus 4.5. And 74 on the total. Nope, nothing there. All right, so yeah. Yeah, that was 12.5 right there. I'm going to keep watching these lines. I'm gonna run out and get something to drink real quick. This is empty. All right. I wonder if BetMGM has any additional live bet games. Sometimes they do. Man, my Fitbit band. I need some super glue. Look at this. It's gonna break. Okay, now it's broken. Wow. You think for a $120 watch that wouldn't happen? I need some super glue. Oh well. Oh, the straw's too small for the bottle. They need to rename the BetMGM app to the Unable to Connect Simulator, because that's what it is. Unable to Connect Simulator. Like, even when my Wi-Fi is on, it can't connect. Oh, they have... No, they don't. My bad. Nope, all the live bet games on BetMGM app are the same as the ones on the Westgate app. I want to turn a game on that I actually have a bet with. What channel is any of these games on? Missouri Ole Miss is on SEC Network. Rhode Island St. Louis is on CBS Sports. So I'll just turn it to SEC Network. This University of Missouri commercial is making me mad because they're all wearing masks, every single one. Like, even to play instrument, that person just playing their clarinet was wearing a mask. And it also showed someone power cleaning, wearing a mask. Which, trust me, you would not want to do that unless you like being lightheaded and want to pass out when you're lifting weights. But yeah, it actually showed someone playing their clarinet through their mask. That commercial made me mad. All right. No, I'm not investing in DraftKings stock. They're banned in Nevada. I liked playing DraftKings, but yeah, can't play it here. Man, you know what really makes me mad when I'm watching these basketball games is seeing the play-by-play people and they're at home. It's just so stupid. Oh, so you can't do. I was able to play DraftKings in Texas back in December. Is that not the case anymore? I did a DraftKings on my live stream once back in December. Oh yeah, no. My gym here in Nevada, technically you have to wear masks at all times, no matter how hard you're working out, but they don't actually enforce it because they know. Because I go to like an actual real gym and not like a mass market commercial gym. But they know like it's more dangerous to force people to wear masks when lifting than it is to not wear masks because they don't want people passing out and you know their head landing on who knows what when they tip over. Trust me, the workouts I've been doing over the past month, you can't do them with a mask. You would pass out. At least Bill Walton's somewhat entertaining. He was on site at the game he did. I watched I think yesterday Colorado and Oregon State. He was actually there in Boulder. I just like how Bill Walton constantly says Conference of Champions. All right, let's see what some of these. Are there any second halves? I think that's it for second halves for now. And I'm not going to stream for the late games. Yeah, there's only one more game, and I'm not going to. Still haven't gotten a live bet down on the Wisconsin game. That's not going to change yet. See, that's what I like to see right there when you have an underbet. Miss free throws. All right. Man, I can't believe this watch band broke. I mean, you think for $120 it would not fall apart like that. get some super glue. Ooh, another missed free throw. All right. Yeah. All right. What do we got? What do we got? Oh man, I have so many mass shaming stories. Like, I remember back in April, before they even started requiring masks, I was at a grocery store in San Diego not wearing one because they weren't required at the time. And there are just people inside that grocery store losing their, losing their minds. Oh man. And one guy was so mad. Like, I just told the guy to leave me alone, mind his own business, And I said stuff like, my body, my choice. This was like back in April before masks were mandatory in California, in San Diego. And this, guy who looked like Joey's World Tour, if any of you know who that is. But, this big fat, guy was just like stalking me in the store. Like, you're going to get everyone sick, man. You just got to do your part. And I just, what I finally did, I just finally left without buying anything, and I just drove down to the Walmart down the street because I didn't want to deal with the guy. And he followed me to the Walmart. He followed me to the Walmart. He was a customer. But the thing is like, he was harassing me, but the thing is other people were joining in with him to harass me. So it wasn't just him after a while. But he was the worst one. He was the one who followed me to Walmart. Yeah, that was back in April. But it was so weird. It was so weird because I was still living in San Diego, and then over Memorial Day, so I went home to Texas for a week. Over Memorial Day, I was in Dallas, Fort Worth area, and I went to Houston for a couple of days to visit my family down there. And there were no mask mandates or anything like that yet in Texas, right? No mask. And so me and my cousin one day went to a water park in Houston. It was open to full capacity, not a mask in sight. And I just remember, this was like at the end of May. And I just remember telling myself, this stuff is over, like no one cares anymore. And I really feel like that would have been the case. But then I feel like the George Floyd and racial protest riots and everything like that kind of like gave COVID a second wind. Because if you were with me in Texas and Houston and Fort Worth that week in late May, you would have been like, you would have had no idea there was anything going on in terms of like a virus. No, like Reagan King, the guy who was harassing me at the Ralph's in San Diego, literally looked like the guy from Joey's World Tour. No, it wasn't Schlitterbahn. It was a Splash Town. I had a guy at the gym. I was in the locker room at the gym. This was back in like June or July. Like my gym in San Diego had been open for like the last 3 weeks. So they were closed for a few months, but then they opened with the caveat being you had to wear a mask like to get in. But once you were in, you didn't have to wear one. And so, okay, once I walked through the door, I took my mask off. And I was in the locker room, at my gym in San Diego, and some guy was like, so what's it going to take, Is it going to take you being hooked up to a ventilator for you to, understand how important wearing a mask is? And I was like, okay. And then I told him, you know what, I'll take my 99.99% survival chances. That's what I told him. Because, for a healthy 32-year-old adult male like me, I am at a very low risk. I probably have a better chance of being struck by lightning than being hooked up to a ventilator because of COVID. And then another time, I was running at a park in San Diego called Tidelands Park. And I just got done running like 3 miles and I was tired, I was breathing very hard. After you run 3 miles, and it was a time 3 miles. I was trying to get a certain time. So I just got done running and I was walking on the path and some lady with a mask and a face shield walks by me and she's like, "Why don't you breathe a little harder and get us all killed?" And I was like, "Lady, if you're so afraid, why are you even out here?" And she didn't say anything, but it was funny. She's like, "You're going to get us all killed if you keep breathing hard." Oh, man. If I had COVID, I wouldn't be out there running. Exactly. Yeah, why are they outside them? If you're so afraid of COVID, why are you outside? That's what I say. I mean, if I'm going to be around, like I said, if you're high risk, then quarantine yourself. I don't really engage with people who are high risk. And if I do, which I don't, but if I do, I'd wear a mask for if they wanted me to. I feel like that's how it should have been all along. If you're afraid of getting the virus and you quarantine, you stay home, you wear a mask. But if you're not afraid, do what you want. That's how I feel like it should have been all along. That's how, viruses have typically worked in human history, is that the people who are at risk are the ones who quarantine, not the healthy people. But yeah, it was just, oh man. There is some guy, so I went, my gym, and when I was living in Texas last fall, there was a guy who came to my gym who was there for the sole purpose of recording people not wearing masks while working out. And, going up to them with the camera in their face and being like, "Is there any reason why you're not wearing a mask?" And so he did it to me and I just ignored him. I didn't even give him I didn't want to give him a reaction. But what I did do is I went to the gym management, because this is a pretty big gym in North Fort Worth, definitely a commercial gym. And I told him, "Hey, there's a guy going around harassing people," and they kicked him out because I wasn't the only one who had reported him. I agree, Reagan. Personal responsibility. That's what I've been saying. If you're not afraid of getting COVID and you want to go watch a football game or a baseball game or a basketball game, you should be allowed to do it. Yeah, my sister's a nurse. She's a nurse. She was a nurse in New York City, but she just moved to Houston to be closer to family. Um, and she was like, it's funny listening to her. She's tired of all these nurses who are trying to milk the fact that they're nurses for own personal benefit. She said it makes the profession look bad. Oh yeah, no, Micah, you're absolutely right. Micah, you're absolutely right. It's like I keep comparing it to the TSA. It's not like I've done it on purpose, but there's been times where I've accidentally gotten a knife past TSA security. I've done it twice, right? They're not going to stop anything. TSA is there to give the illusion of security. They're not actually there to actually make sure that nothing bad gets on planes. That's what masks are. Masks are there to give the illusion that something's being done, but they're not actually going to stop anything. Man, I don't like the pace of this Ole Miss Missouri game. Ole Miss has already scored 15 points in the first 5 minutes of the second half. Yeah, I've always called the TSA security theater. It's there to make it look like something's being done to keep us safe on airplanes, but it's not doing anything. Same with masks and all, social distancing and all that, and the arrows on the floor at the store. None of that's not going to make a difference. Because I believe that the virus spreads primarily at home. At home. But yeah, I'm just tired of all this crap, you know. I already said I'm not going to. I haven't been to a casino or sports book or anything like that here in Las Vegas in person since December, and I'm not going to. I just feel like wearing masks and all that kills the vibe. Yeah, I got a knife, like a pretty decent sized knife, through security. It's yeah, it's not like I did it on purpose. I just forgot it was in the bag I had. It's like, geez, there's no way TSA is gonna stop somebody. It was funny being at Lake Tahoe last week though. Like they would have like employees of the ski resorts like going up and down the lift lines to make sure you had a mask on while standing in the lift line. But it's funny, as soon as everyone got on the chair itself, they'd all put it down. Like, I just believe that there's no point in wearing them outside. That's what I think. Check some live bets here. Hadn't been a lot of movement on the live betting front here. All right, Marquette, Villanova's 14 and a half. Who is that? Who is it? Philip? Philip, did you ever take the 11? Because it's 14 and a half now for Villanova. LSU is 4.5. Rhode Island's 9.5. Wisconsin, Nebraska's tied. Wisconsin's 6.5. I'm gonna put that one in and see what happens. Also put in a total 133.5. See if anything comes up. It's been very picky tonight. Oh, is my R frozen again? That keeps happening. Maybe I'm running too much stuff. I'm gonna close this. Man. Nope, nothing for Wisconsin. LSU Mississippi State total. Villanova's off the board. Yeah, no, that's exactly what it is. It's all people are so afraid of being shamed for not participating in all this that they just go along with it. That's what I believe. Like they don't want to be blasted on social media or in the news for not like if you see what the Biden administration's doing right now, they're like they're thinking about like banning travel to and from Florida. And I'm like, why? Florida's one of the best states when it comes to all metrics, really. I think it's their way of punishing Florida for not going along with the panic and hysteria and everything. Like Florida has hardly any restrictions at all, and they, you know, they don't no shutdowns, no mask orders, none of that, and yet, you know, they have a lower death rate and lower infection rate and lower hospitalization rate than like other countries that are doing all that. So it's like, okay. And yet they're being singled out by the Biden administration for some reason. Exactly. I just want to be able to live my life. Like when I lived here back in 2012, I would spend all my time at the sports books, and I would. I would be there instead of here if it weren't for the mask stuff. But just, I just hate the casino employees roving around like casino security, like being mask enforcers. It just kills the vibe. No, I was like, I need to create like betting odds. What's going to be the first store to require double masks? If that was like if I could go down to a sports book around here and bet on that, I would bet on REI. I don't know if you guys have ever been to REI, but their employees are all like ultra mask enforcer Nazis. Oh man. I went there to buy a ski jacket for, back before I went to Vail in December, and oh man, it was bad. Like they snapped at my mom when my mom put her mask down to take a sip of her Diet Coke. They snapped at my mom. I'm not going to disagree with you there, David. All right. Man, I hope whoever was thinking about jumping on Villanova did it. Because they're 18.5 now. Ooh, it's saying play Villanova. I'm going to do it because my model says so. So I'm going to jump in at 18.5. I'm riding the wild side here. Ooh, man. My book has the total at 132.5 for Wisconsin, Nebraska. Put that in. And Wisconsin at -5.5. Ooh. Ooh. Let's do it. Oh, it's off the board. We'll see if it comes back up. Oh, yeah, no. Every time I went to REI the other day to buy a Camel. I went in last week to buy a Camelback, so I could drink water while I was skiing, like a backpack thing. And every single person who works there looks like they're like, they live in a hippie commune or something like that. Yeah, no, I'm telling you, what's going to be the first store to require double mask? My money's on REI, but I think Costco is a strong contender, and so is Trader Joe's. Whole Foods, I don't know. Doesn't Jeff Bezos own Whole Foods now? I could see Jeff Bezos requiring it. I'm just going to have to wait for the Wisconsin second half because it's off the board. Looks like it's going to be that way. I'm telling you, there's going to be... I've already seen some people wearing double masks here. I'm already seeing people starting to do it. I'm telling you, there's going to be some business is going to try to get out in front and try to get all the praise in the public relations realm in court of public opinion and come out and start saying we need to double mask and force all customers to double mask. I don't know if an airline would do it. They could, but I think it would be a store like REI, just based on how, gosh, they just watch you like a hawk. Like when I went to buy that Camelback, there's just people following me around. to make sure I was, complying. And they had these signs at the entrance, like the proper way to wear a mask. Man, I wanted to jump in on Wisconsin, but I can't. Maybe the second half line will still be there. Rhode Island's looking kind of shaky. I wonder if I could YOLO this one. I already have an under bet, but we'll see what it says. Nope. Yeah. They didn't really, like in Texas, I lived in Denton County and they didn't have a mask mandate. So like the only places you had to wear one was Walmart, but you would walk in there and there'd be so many people without one. I don't think they actually enforced it. They just had like signs, but no one actually cared. But if you were to go to Walmart in Dallas County, for example, then yeah, they'd probably care. What part of Indiana are you in, Matthew Stanberry? I was when I lived in Louisville, I'd go over the bridge a lot to go to southern Indiana. Because the gym I belonged to, the LAC, the ones in Louisville are usually crowded, but then I'd go over to the one in Clarksville in Indiana, and it was never crowded. Yeah, I grew up in Fort Worth T-Mars. Like back into the fall, I lived in an Airbnb in North Fort Worth. It was in Denton County though. It was like right there by Texas Motor Speedway. So I'd go to like Walmart and stuff, and no one would care about masks. Okay, Wisconsin is at halftime, by the way. Okay, Wisconsin minus 6.5, which is a lot, and 73. I think we missed the boat on Wisconsin. Got locked out. Yep. No, the thing is that they started to paint the bridge at the end of when I was living in Louisville. They started to paint the bridge, and so it was only one lane. And by one lane, I mean like not one lane each way. It was one lane, period. So they had like people that had to stop traffic going one way so traffic the other way could go. It took forever to get over that bridge. It was the free bridge. There was a couple toll bridges you could pay to get over, but that's when I stopped going to that gym in Clarksville. Well, I lived in Texas temporarily in the fall because my apartment lease ended in San Diego, and I didn't want to renew it there, but I didn't want to stay in San Diego if I didn't have to because I was a remote working from home. And so I just lived in an Airbnb in Texas near my family back in the fall. But then I realized, I wasn't really a big fan of living in the long-term Airbnb. I wanted my own place. And so, but a moving truck to Texas is so expensive. It really is. But the moving truck here to Las Vegas from San Diego is not expensive. So that's why I did it. I just wanted to get my own place. Man, I think that Villanova bet was not a good idea. Yeah, it probably wasn't the smartest thing to do. Oh well. Yeah, that's why it's so expensive, because moving trucks outbound from California are so expensive. Inbound, they're like practically nothing. It would have cost me like $4,000 just for the truck. That didn't even count like the gas to get to Texas in it. It only cost me $600 for the truck to San Diego to Las Vegas. So yeah. Yeah, I was trying to get in at 5.5, but it blocked. It went off the board, and now it's at 9.5. So I'm not going to do that. I'll keep an eye on it though in the second half, but I think that Villanova minus 18.5 bet was probably not. That's what I was saying. I told myself earlier I probably wouldn't be making a lot of second half live bets, and I think that's going to come back to bite me, because my training data set is really based off of the second half line and not so much, anything beyond that. So yeah, that was probably my mistake. Well, yeah, 6.5 second half, but technically that translates to a live line of 9.5. So since I have placed that bet on Villanova minus 18.5, Marquette has gone on a 10-0 run. I bet with the local Las Vegas casino sportsbook apps, and I do not make money. I lose money. That's what I've been doing since I sign up for them. Yeah, Rhode Island's just not a very well coached team. All right, Villanova is now 14.5. Man, they're just. I don't feel so confident about this Missouri Ole Miss total, with the way they're just shooting. Yeah, they're really just. No, there's nothing about numbers. But yeah, they're playing at a very fast pace in this game. By fast, I mean they're shooting very early in the shot clock on both sides. You think a team that was up by 21 with 5 minutes to go would not shoot a three-pointer with 27 seconds left on the shot clock? It's going to be very close. Yeah, I lost on a spread of 2 tonight, but no, there's nothing like that. I do know, just based on this live stream, is that every time I'm on Rhode Island, they're just not a good team. But for some reason, my model likes to pick them. I'm not saying they don't have good players. They're poorly coached. All right, Villanova's back up by 16. Can they close it out and actually cover that massive number I took? UConn, yeah, my mistake model had them earlier, and I hedged them out. Like, I took Providence on the other side because I realized that my model had made a mistake. So I only lost the juice. And I'm glad I did that because otherwise I would have lost the whole unit. Slow the game down, Ole Miss. You're up by 20. Stop playing so fast. You think a team up by 20 with 4 minutes to go would not have such of urgency, and they would milk clock. I won on a minus 50 spread in college basketball a few years ago. I want to say it was Iowa State against Savannah State, maybe like in 2016 or 17, and they're like 52-point favorites. Yeah, I made a mistake with my model this morning. I ran it based off the wrong training set. And so some of the games are still the same. Like, unfortunately, the Georgia Tennessee under was one of them, but the Rutgers Iowa under was 1-2 in that one. Villanova's up 19. That we might pull it off. I did not like the bet, but hey, my model said to do it, and I did it, and it might come through. We'll see. There's 8 minutes to go. I'm still skeptical, but you never know. Remember that NC State game this past Saturday when they were playing Boston College, and the live total just kept rising and rising and rising, and they ended up winning by like 30? Yeah, I can't remember the last time I made a bet based on intuition or just intuition alone. I've vetoed bets based on intuition, and that usually backfires on me more than it helps, but if Rhode Island can overcome their poor coaching and kick it in gear, maybe they can cover that 7.5. Numbers don't scare me. If big numbers, small numbers, you just got to have a good system. You're not going to really see those big numbers in conference play outside of like Gonzaga. And even then, their numbers aren't that big. I mean, in the 20s. I haven't seen any 30s with them. Well, yeah, I don't know. We'll see if Villanova lets off the gas. I thought Abilene Christian was going to do that earlier, and they didn't. So, but we'll see. I don't know. But I have a somewhat decent chance to sweep these remaining live bets. And so, like I said, I just need Rhode Island to figure it out. Rebound. All right, there we go. I'll turn that game on once this Ole Miss game's over with. I just want to. I still, like I said, it looks like Ole Miss is slowing it down now, but they're up by 23 3 minutes to go, so I hope they wouldn't try to like keep playing breakneck pace. Yeah, it would have been a good intuition bet on LSU because just based on my live betting experiences with Mississippi State this year, they always fall apart in the second half. And they did that again today. All right, I need this. All right, the number's dropping. The number is dropping. So it's at 136, and they need 17 points to make it go over in the last 3 minutes. Who did Iowa play this past Sunday? Was it Ohio State? I don't know who it was, but yeah, they lost. Shot clock violation. All right. You love shot clock violations when even under. That's what you like. Oh, yeah, Indiana. They got swept by Indiana this year. Yeah, but that game, I think I won on that game. I think I bet the under in that game, and it did go under. Did I have Indiana in the spread too? Let me check. I know I won a bet on that game on one angle. Yeah, I had the under, and it went under. All right, can they score 15 points in the last minute 38 in this game? I doubt it. As Rhode Island continues to fall apart because they're such a terribly coached team that for some reason my model likes. Did they? One way to find out. He played 28 minutes. It was his. He didn't play a lot of possessions, so they might have. Two fouls. Mm-hmm. All right, that Wisconsin game is back up and running. I'm showing. Yeah, this game's gonna go under, thankfully. All right, Wisconsin 8.5. And a total of 120.5. See what we got. Nothing. All right. All right, I'm going to give myself the win on this one. So I'm 3-1 live betting tonight. This is the first time you guys have seen me have a winning live stream in how long? It's been a while. But I'm going to barely eke it out tonight. $118.5 now for Wisconsin, Nebraska. Back up to 120. Villanova by 22. All right. All right, I'm going to turn on that Rhode Island game. Maybe there's a chance they can do it. There it is. They changed the CBS Sports Network logo. That's why I couldn't find it in the guide. There it is. All right. Rhode Island, St. Louis. 3 minutes to go. 4 minutes to go. Man, how many times are they going to play this Papa John's stuffed crust commercial? While it's an ad, I'm going to take a quick bathroom break, and I'm going to close out the stream with the end of this Rhode Island game and Villanova game. Oh, Villanova's up by 25 now. Man, I can't believe that live bet might actually pay off. Because when I made it, I was like, you got to be kidding me. But hey, that's what the model said to do. Wisconsin's now 11.5. I'm so mad that 5.5 got taken off the board when I was trying to bet it. Seems to always be the case. They're at 12.5 now. Whoops, I typed the wrong command. Dang it. So St. Louis is up by 12. The poorly coached Rhode Island Rams. That was the worst offensive possession I've ever seen. Like, you know, if you're down 12 with 3 minutes to go and that's what you're going to do. Like, not even run anything that resembled anything of a set offense, instead do that. $13.5 for Wisconsin now. I'm going to keep entering it in and see what comes up, if anything comes up, like with Villanova. Nope. All right, let's see if Rhode Island can run anything that resembles set offense this time, and they made a shot, so they're down by 10. I don't think that was anything that was set offense, but they made it, so it is what it is. It looked like more unorganized playground ball. Villanova's up by 28. Now they're up by 31. I can't believe it. I cannot believe it. And Rhode Island is not. That was just the saddest press I've ever seen in my life. St. Louis sliced through that press like knife through butter. Okay, Rhode Island's down by 10 again. This only 2 minutes ago, though. St. Louis at the free throw line. No good. All right, I have a chance here. Wisconsin number still. I'm going to give myself a win for LSU. They're up by 17 with 2 minutes to go. All right. Yeah, like a knife through the TSA. Rhode Island 3, no good. And they got the offensive rebound, though. Oh, and they turned the ball over. They turned it over. They threw it away. Like I said, just a poorly coached team. Maybe I should stop live betting on them because it never works out. St. Louis fouled the three-point shooter, but I don't think it's going to matter. Wisconsin's 16.5 now. As that 5.5 that we missed the boat on continues to haunt us. Just, this is out of morbid curiosity right here. Nope. Total's 123.5. So he made 2 of the 3 free throws. I needed him to make all 3 to have a remote shot at Rhode Island covering the 7.5. And we'll see if Rhode Island can make something happen here. Oh, he almost turned it over. It's going to take kind of a miracle to get it done for Rhode Island. They're down by 11 with 27 seconds left. 3-pointers, good. All right, so they're down by 8. So still a shot. Still a shot. Could use a turnover right here coming out of the timeout. But once that game's over, I'm going to call it a night. No, I didn't get that. This one's a win right here. So not bad. Even if Rhode Island doesn't pull this off, it was a good night. You guys got to see me win for a change. I don't know how many losing live streams in a row I've had, but I had at least 3 or 4. By losing, I mean pregame bets. I've only had one live stream where I've been lost on live bets, and that was last Saturday. Live betting really hasn't been a problem for the live streams. It's been the bets I placed before the stream. Yep, the 2 predictors for spreads are Indy and ATM. There's only one predictor for totals, and that's Indy. And then the predictors for money line are the simple and Indy. So the Indy is actually a good model in a negative sense. All right, let's see if Rhode Island can force a turnover here. Oh, they did. Oh, no, the ref called it out on... Oh, I thought they forced a turnover there. You need them to cover the 8.5. What number did he get St. Louis on? I have Rhode Island plus 7.5 live. Are the refs going to review that? I hope they do, because that looked like I don't know. I feel like Rhode Island might have forced that turnover there. Oh, you got -9? Yeah. You might still get it, though. I mean, Rhode Island could... I mean, they're probably going to foul here if they don't overturn that call, and then St. Louis will probably shoot... What's their free throw percentage? One way to find out, right? St. Louis will shoot free throws. I don't know how good a free throw shooting team they are. Ooh, they're a little bit below average, 68.8%. How good of a three-point shooting team is Rhode Island? Because for you to lose your bet, Brian, I think Rhode Island needs to make a 3. And they're a little bit below average. So here's your foul. So St. Louis is going to go to the line. Number 20 is at the line. I don't know who that is. I can't see the last name on his jersey. First free throw's good. I don't know who number 20 for St. Louis is, so I don't know what his free throw percentage is. It's Fred Thatch Jr., so... Oh, he's a good free throw shooter. 96%. So, and he made them both. So, basically, Rhode Island has to make a 3 here. Here's the 3 in the air. Good. Oh, he made it. Wow. Okay. So, if Rhode Island doesn't foul here, which they're not going to, I might win this bet. Oh, wow. I'm going to win this bet. Wow. Yeah, sorry, Brian. That 3 was a dagger, but it won me my Rhode Island live bet. Wow. They didn't foul. Yeah, I'd be mad if I were you, Brian. They didn't foul there. If Rhode Island fouled, you would have had a chance. But, wow, I went 4-0 on live spreads tonight. 6-1 overall. I'll take it. All right, well, I'm going to update this real quick so we have it for Saturday. Yeah, that was tough because basically that was like I said, what I said before, that the only way that could have lost is if Rhode Island made a 3 and they didn't foul after making the 3, and that's exactly what happened. All right, well, that's going to wrap it up for this live stream. Thanks, everyone, for tuning in. I'll be back on Saturday. Hopefully I'll finally have a winning Saturday for a change. All right, guys. Thanks, everyone.